let's look at number 10. Does Quade Cooper come straight back in for that first test in Argentina?
Yeah, it's a good question because he hasn't played in quite a while. I think he probably does, and if you do that, it's also another change at 12. We know that Samu Kerevi's not going to be there for the first two tests of the Rugby Championship. In my opinion, that means Hunter Paisami comes in at 12, and I think he probably combines with Alain Ikitau. We know that Izzy Parisi is going to be out for the rest of the year, which is devastating for him. His punch would have been, I think, pretty valuable, but
yeah.
You also imagine that Jordan Batai comes in and maybe he's at fullback, or at the very least he's in the squad. But there's some decisions that have to be made, because it means that there's more changes now, 10, 12, 15. So look, it's a huge blow losing Kerevi, because Kerevi and Quade would have been perfect. If they can get one win out of two matches here on this tour of Argentina, I think they'd almost take it at this stage, because this is going to be significantly tough against an Argentinian side who's now, got
a bit of wind in their sails, yeah.
Wind in their sails after an unbelievable comeback against Scotland with a couple of tries in the last 10, 15 minutes, including one on the bell. So, yeah, I think you have to return to Quade, though, ahead of Noah.
I'll play devil's advocate here then. You mentioned O'Connor looking fairly rusty when he came back off the bench in the first two tests. Is that a worry, number one, with Quade, rustiness, as you mentioned? I don't think he's played since maybe early May. And then what about the Queensland Reds connection? Hunter likely to go to 12, you would think, play alongside James, Geordie potentially to 15. Is there a school of thought there where you go 10, 12, 15, all Reds? Okay, these guys might be short on reps, but that familiarity, that cohesion perhaps of playing together in Queensland could be then replicated at the Wallabies in Argentina.
Yeah, there certainly is. Oh, look, I don't know if Dave Rennie and the Wallabies would, I'm going to say brave enough, but I don't know if they would be willing to go Tate McDermott at 9. And if you do Tate McDermott at 9, I think absolutely you can go James at 10. And I think you can go Hunter at 12. And you could almost go Jock Campbell at 15. Look, Jock Campbell is a guy that has a big boot, can kick the ball 50, 55 metres regularly, makes the right decision more often than not. He's been told that he's close. There was a reason why he wasn't brought back from the Pacific Nations Cup in Fiji, because they wanted him to have more reps, to have more metres there. Minutes. I think Jock Campbell, almost deserves an opportunity at some point, because I don't think you'd go any worse than what's happening at the moment in terms of decision making, in terms of limiting mistakes. Jock Campbell seldom does he ever make a mistake, and you might discover a bit more, and potentially a guy like that does surprise people.